Greetings to you. This is Brandon, the freight broker with Alliance Logistics, and we hope this message finds you in super health and spirit on another beautiful Monday morning that we've been blessed to see. I want to thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I understand that there are many things that you want to accomplish throughout this week and this morning, so we're going to get into the topic, and what we're going to be discussing today is what you should be saying to new customers when you first start making sales calls. Now, this can be a bit overwhelming, quite daunting task when you first start out because you don't quite know what to say. And we usually use a script when we first start out, a model to keep us on track and organized throughout that first few calls. And even when you have a script, it can still be a bit challenging because you don't quite understand what it is that you're saying. You know, it's one thing to have something on paper, but it's something quite different to understand it. You know, and that just takes time. That comes with time. So the first thing that we have to do is to get the courage to key up the mic to start calling customers. But we also want to make sure that we have a game plan when we do start calling customers. We don't want to just call and start making up things as we go along, because of course that shows that we're not organized and we're new, and we don't want to broadcast to the shipping world that we're new. So we want to have a script, have a plan when we start to talk to our customers. Now, we have a script, but what should we be saying? What should the script say? Well, usually when you're new, a basic script usually does a few things. Number one, it's going to introduce you. It's going to say where you're calling from and what it is that you do. And then it's going to say what the purpose of your call is. So it may go something like this. Greetings, Mike. This is Brandon with Alliance Logistics, and I am a freight broker. The purpose of my call was to inquire about possible opportunities to help you manage the movement of some of your FTL or LTL freight. Do you mind sharing what is necessary in order to get set up with you as a new broker or new agent? Now, that is a basic script, and that's a good way to start out. And it's going to get your feet wet a little bit. But at the same time, you're going to want to graduate from that at some point in time. The whole purpose of sales calls is to get your client to talking about his business, what it is that he does, how he does what he does, and a little bit about his pain points, his struggles. And the reason for that is so that you can listen very well, number one, and provide a strategy or solutions to help him overcome some of those pain points and struggles that he's mentioned. If you can do that, you have a much better chance of getting him to talk more, developing a relationship with him, and eventually being a partner of his to help him manage the movement of his FTL or LTL freight, which is exactly what we want to do. So, something that we may say as we move down the road a little bit is, greetings, Mike. This is Brandon with Alliance Logistics, and I'm a freight broker. I was calling today in hopes that you would be able to share with me a little bit about what it is that you do. Do you mind giving me some insight as into what you do as a shipper? And this sometimes would give someone else a platform to talk about what they do. There aren't many times that people turn down the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what they do, especially when they enjoy what they do. So simply asking that question can get him to talk about what he does. And the more you get him to talking, the better it is for you. Because when you have him doing the talking, now you can listen and devise a game plan or a strategy or solutions to the problems that he may have mentioned, the pain points that he may have mentioned during this conversation. But if you have him talking, if you have him doing the talking, if you have him expressing to you about his business or expressing himself to you about his business, then you're exactly where you want to be. Now it's about just moving that conversation along. and those key questions that you ask are definitely going to move that conversation along. But if you can get him to talking, then 90% of your problem is solved, because he's doing the talking. Now, with that said, once he's talked and once he's expressed, some of his pain points and some of his struggles, now what you want to come back in and do is restate some of the things that he said and then provide solutions to some of those issues. And this is going to continue to move the conversation, develop the relationship, and help you get into position to move in some of his freight, which is exactly what we want to do. So this is a brief introduction into what some of the things that you may want to say on your first calls when you first start calling. At the same time, what we want to understand is that your call may not go exactly like you want it to go, and that is okay. What is not okay is for you to get frustrated and quit. It's kind of like a basketball player. Let's take LeBron James, for instance, one of the best basketball players in the league. When his game may not be there on a particular night, he makes what's called in-game adjustments, which is exactly what we have to do as freight brokers and freight agents. When we're on a call and it's not going exactly like we want it to go, we have to make in-call adjustments and adjust fire a little bit. And also what we have to understand is that call may have ended and it may not have gone like you wanted to go. So what we want to do then is sit down and think about what happened during that call, write some things down, and then when you go into your next call, you're going to that next call that more informed, because now you have something you can take from your last call and apply to your future calls. And now you're a little bit more experienced. Now you have a little bit more confidence when it comes down to approaching the next call. So this was just a little bit about how you're going to want to approach your sales calls. Sales calls are a huge part of getting your business off the ground. So we want to spend some time getting our strategy together, getting our plan together, always going into a call with a game plan. Because when you don't have a game plan, it's like, Nick Saban showing up on Saturday and just saying, hey, we're just going to see what happens. We're going to go into this thing and see what happens. The best don't do that. So you don't want to do that when it comes down to making your sales calls. Always have a strategy. Always be working an angle when you're calling your customers. And realize that, a lot of people ask me, well, what questions are they going to ask you? What should you be prepared for? Well, the truth of the matter is, when you first start, the customers usually don't ask you a whole lot of questions. At the same time, when you start to engage that customer and when you start to ask questions, then they are going to be more talkative, maybe, and they may ask questions, but usually you're going to want to be asking the questions to get them to provide different pain points and struggles that they are having. And remember, if you're doing most of the talking, then you're probably not achieving what it is that you want to achieve. The whole idea is to get your customer to do the talking. I hope this helps. We're going to continue to have these calls. Next Monday, we'll be back here, same place, same time. If you think that these videos are helpful, like the video or subscribe to our YouTube videos. If you're interested in more information about the freight broker, freight agent industry, you can go to our website, www.training.alliancelogistics.net. We have business meetings every Tuesday night, our Super Tuesday business meetings. And usually what those calls are reserved for our agents. We also sometimes extend invitations to those calls just so that you can come and get some idea of what goes on those calls and get more information about the industry. So if you're interested, shoot me an email, shoot us a call, and we'll get an invite out to you so you can attend that call. Again, we want to thank you so much for your time. We wish you well in all that you endeavor to do. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful and productive week.